Amazing. I mean, literally, that tastes like the kind of pizza you get from an amazing Italian restaurant.
That's just happy food. Food made in minutes.
Guide dogs.
Hello, I'm Katie Pix and I'm a foodie content creator. I basically love food.
I'm Kristina and I'm visually impaired, and I have an absolute passion for cooking and baking and anything to do with food.
So today we are going to be cooking a soda bread pizza. So there's loads of different ways you can do pizza. This is a happy medium where we're still creating a dough, but we're using a soda bread recipe, which means there's no rising time, no need to leave it, you can use it instantly. It cooks really quickly and we can cheat it on the hob too. Is there a good system that you implement or that you know of that people use to just make navigating the storage of your kitchen?
I've got like a larder cupboard, and all my cans are kind of, they're in order of what they are. So I've got all like my chickpeas and my pulses in one place, and I've got all my like cans of tomato in one place, baked beans in one place. So, and they're all kind of stacked in a row. So it's all about organisation. I can go in that cupboard, I know where it is. If it's the left, the right, the middle, I'll go in there and I'll grab it, and I know exactly what I'm having. My iPhone is my best friend for like being in the kitchen, because I'll take a photo of something, I'll zoom in on it, and I'll know what the ingredients are, how long to cook it, whatever. So I use that. Some people like use elastic bands to kind of denote things. So if you've got a half open bag of something, if it's got 2 bands on it, it might be pasta. If it's got 1 band, it might be rice.
This is literally going to be made in about 15 minutes. So first thing we're going to be doing is measuring out some plain flour and some self-raising flour. So we're going to go 170 of our self-raising and 170 of our plain. How do you make sure that you accurately bake?
So I use large scales, and then it's got a big blue display, which is really easy to see. These are really mainstream, like these are literally from Amazon. You know, you can just go,
screen.
Yeah, it's just a larger screen. This comes with some talking scales. So you put this on the talking scales, it will ask you what you want to measure. Do you want to measure liquids? Do you want to measure solids? Do you want to measure water? Whatever it is. And then you'll use this jug and it will measure that in that way too. I like to be able to have stuff that everybody else has.
Yeah.
So these are really amazing.
It's a very limited amount of measuring. It's going to be a lot to do with the touch and feel. So we've measured out our ingredients.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a big bowl to sieve the flour into, so the flour doesn't go everywhere.
Fantastic,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Magic, right. So to that, we're going to add in our buttermilk, and this is where we're going to get our hands involved.
shall I move this? I'll just move this out of the way.
Surface is clear.
Clear surfaces at all times. I'm a big clean up as I go. I can't be doing with having mess all over the place. I find it quite stressful. It's about knowing where your places are in the kitchen and what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it. So you're not then, you're not going to be taking your pan off the hob and you're not going to be putting it on the worktop where you've got all your flour and your dough and everything else. So it's about having clear spaces and defining what part you're doing in which bit of your kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're just going to bring it together, and it's going to come together really easily into a dough. Touch is such a valuable sense, isn't it? Even if, I imagine you're doing a whipped cream, being able to just dip a finger in and going, that
Yes,
is
because you don't need to be able to see to do stuff like that. It's all in the touch. It's all in the touch.
the feel of it.
And you can have a favourite recipe. You might not do loads of stuff, but if you have a favourite recipe and you do it time and time again, then you'll be experienced in that, and then you'll know with that, how something feels and if you've got it to the right point or if you haven't. And you can make yourself look way better than you are.
Right!
Exactly. You can fool
before.
people into being a Michelin star chef with about 4 things that you cook time after time.
Exactly. That's beautiful. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Feels good. Feels good. But we're going to break this into smaller pieces, first of all, make it much more manageable.
Some people might struggle with a whitish bit of dough in a whitish bowl. So it's like contrast as well. If you put it on the top, on the worktop, again, that contrast isn't amazing because it is brown on brown, but that's fine for me. But you can, it's different. You've got the texture as well, whereas in the bowl, I'd say I wouldn't be cutting it.
But this is something you can tear, you can stretch, it's all malleable, it can all be by touch.
We're doing 6.
We'll go 6. Love it.
See, it's all about touching, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And again, do you know what? Even if it's not a perfect circle, rustic. Yeah. Just describe something as rustic and it's always gonna, if anything, it looks better because you're like, oh, that's
homemade. Homemade.
Same wavelength, Kristina.
So what are we thinking?
That's beautiful. Yeah, perfect. Our next step then is to actually toast off our pizza bases. So the way this is gonna work, we're gonna chuck it into the pan. We want this pan to be nice and hot. One of the things I've noticed is that on the oven, there is these little bumps.
So they're called bump-ons, and they are, so they kind of mark out whether it's 100 degrees, 200 degrees, so you could put it a little bit like a clock face. Some people, if you haven't got any vision, bump-ons are a really good thing because you can really quickly tell where you're gonna set your temperature.
In terms of gas and electric, is there a preference?
I prefer using gas. So you know when you've left your gas on because it makes a noise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you can smell it.
Fundamentally, the experience of food is your senses are exactly what you want to trigger when you're cooking. So that touch and even smell. I mean, I smell burning in my kitchen quite a lot, so so that's quite a good giveaway when I need to turn stuff down. But
I think cooking is a real leveler. Like, everybody can cook. It's all about touch. It's all about taste, and it's all about hearing. It's not about seeing. You don't have to be able to see to cook something really good.
See, the hob gets a lot of use in the kitchen. It's the place to cook your curries and cook your stir fries, or, you know, scramble some eggs in the morning. How do you navigate multiple things at one time?
So with frying pans and boiling water, so if I'm boiling pasta, I will not put that on the front because I don't want to be like leaning over and like knocking boiling water all over me. Oh. So what I tend to do is I tend to put things at the back of the hob. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll have a pot that's like for my pasta, I'll always use like a massive stock pot. Yeah. So by the time you realise it might boil over, you've caught it in time, because if you use a small pot, it's going to boil over quicker. If
you're someone who spends a lot of time in the kitchen, you find your own ways of doing things, don't you?
Definitely.
I like, even down to the fact that how well I know my hob. My first pan, it doesn't matter what size of pan I'm using, it will always go on the back left hob because that's my reliable
You have your
hob.
favourite hob. You have your favourite
control that hob.
Mine is back right.
Exactly.
I love my back right. Everything goes on back right
I trust
first.
that hob.
Yes,
so I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
So I think it's that whole process of just being really familiar with your equipment and familiar with your space.
100%.
But what's really nice about this is that because what you're looking for is a bit of a crispiness on the base of it, is again, it's that sound. It's how it moves in the pan. So you can already hear
it's starting to sound a bit
starting
scrapey.
to shuffle.
Yeah.
And so that's perfect now to cook the underside, and whilst the underside's cooking, we're just going to top it. Toppings time! This is where we just get to make it our own. Kitchen Fundamentals 101 is knife skills. Kind of making sure it is securely held in your hand, having things like non-slip mats and stuff to really secure what you're chopping on.
One of the key things is to have really sharp knives. It sounds really counterintuitive. It sounds like if you can't see so well, a sharp knife is a really bad idea. But actually it's a really good idea, because if your knives are blunt, you're gonna be like trying to cut something, that thing isn't going to cut and it's going to go into you. You can also get like knife guards that you can use in case you're worried about your fingers.
The sharp knife thing is absolutely crucial, and you're so right, it's a complete misunderstanding because you think, oh, sharper knife's more dangerous, but the chance of you slipping on a blunt knife is so high.
It's massive. Yeah, 100%.
Just,
yeah.
Sharpen your knives, people. This is lovely knife work. It really is.
So what I would do, because I feel like it's quite fiddly chopping Parma ham, get some scissors and then chop it, because anyone can use scissors. You don't need to have a knife skill. I use scissors for cutting like chicken breast as well. I've got really sharp scissors, and I always use it for like cutting chicken breast, any kind of meat that isn't fibrous that you can kind of cut through.
Is there a style of cooking that you enjoy doing just to add that extra level of assurance that what you've prepared, particularly when it is a food that could otherwise upset someone's stomach, that you make sure it's all safely cooked through?
So I absolutely am in love with my slow cooker. It's a dial. There's like, you can have it on off, low, medium, high. it clicks each time it reaches so low is 1 click, high is 1 click, medium is 1 click. You can buy your mince already chopped, stick your mince in. You can buy already chopped onions, you can buy already chopped garlic, you can buy already chopped herbs. You put it on high, you leave it for 7 hours. Throughout the day you can smell your cooking, it smells amazing, you have that satisfaction. For anyone that's starting out cooking, visually impaired or not, it's so easy, it's accessible, and you can just shove everything in there and you know for a fact it's going to be cooked and it's going to be delicious as well.
Fantastic. Pizza, nice crispy top, and the underside is crisping up nicely as well. You're now going to top it however you please.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is, keeping the warmth of the pan, we're still going to let that heat come through to the base of the ingredients, and then we're going to pop it under the grill. My default would be just to watch it until that cheese melts. How would you counter that?
So I would probably do a timer for that.
Yeah. Heat and skin, not a great combination. So what sort of things do you use in the kitchen just to add an extra level of kind of assurance and protection for that?
So what I do is I have some oven gloves, and they're quite...
Great oven gloves,
I know, we love them. We love the doggy gloves. And they kind of come quite far up your arm. So you can stick your arm in the oven, and you can pull something out. You can get oven gloves that are even longer, that kind of go up to there, or you can get ones that have like fingers. It might be worth getting ones that kind of go further up your arm, and each finger is like a glove. So you can literally go in the oven and pull something out, and you can feel the tray, you can feel the shelf, you can control it, and you know what you're taking in and out. Alexa, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Ta-da! Done, easy. That's an easy recipe, right?
That's a very easy recipe. It's very, very tactile.
Yep.
Very smelly.
Yeah,
I mean, as in, smell the toppings, smell when it's cooking.
Although it does smell good in here.
It smells very good. It smells like a pizza restaurant. I've got some vision, so my issue with my vision is I don't see detail. So for me, that I found how you did that recipe really easy. Obviously, different people with different levels of vision. If they don't have any vision, they might adapt it in different ways.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Adaptation. So it's working out what
works for you.
Yeah, what your capabilities are and how you can tune those to make the most of your kitchen, of your environment, of how you adapt recipes, of what you feel comfortable with creating.
Yeah.
How easy is that?
Amazing. I mean, literally, that tastes like the kind of pizza you get from an amazing Italian restaurant.
That's just happy food. Food made in minutes. So if you're not confident with something like this, using tortilla wraps, using ready-made bases, but being able to explore with flavours and cooking methods and styles that give you confidence in the kitchen, I think is a really...
Absolutely, you can 100% adapt it. Use your naan bread, just put it under the grill. If you want to start off, get your naan bread, put all the toppings on, put it in the oven like you would frozen pizza.
Thank you so much. I feel like I've learned so much, but I've also just considered so much more.
And thank you for showing me quick and easy ways to cook as well.
Guide dogs.